It began as an ordinary morning, like thousands of others across Europe.
Passengers moved through the terminal, unaware of the events that would follow. Inside the cockpit, everything appeared normal. Systems functioned as designed.
Security measures designed to protect the cockpit would soon prevent any intervention. Below the aircraft lay a remote and unforgiving landscape.
The cruise phase. With the autopilot engaged and all systems functioning normally, the aircraft maintained its precise trajectory.
Center, this is Flight 742, maintaining flight level 360. All systems are nominal. Flight 190, maintain runway heading, climb to 4,000 feet, wind 290 at 5.
As the descent began, the cabin remained calm. Yet, beneath the surface, a shift was palpable. In the unforgiving embrace of the alpine slopes, the margin for error was non-existent.
The analysis began days later, examining every detail.
But what about this anomaly here on page 3?
We are cross-referencing that data now.
The designs, implemented in the early 2000s, drastically altered egress procedures. We must understand
In the hours that followed, investigators began the complex task of reconstructing the final moments.
Flight recorder data provided a detailed and uninterrupted record of the aircraft's performance until the very end.
The cockpit voice recorder revealed long periods of silence, broken only by routine sounds of the flight.
Analysis showed that the aircraft followed the commands it was given, without any technical anomaly.
With mechanical causes ruled out, investigators turned their attention to human and organizational factors.
The medical certification system relied heavily on periodic assessments and on pilots reporting any change in their own fitness. Between scheduled examinations, the system depended on self-reporting, a principle that can fail when personal and professional pressures intervene.
The accident highlighted how multiple layers of safety can still be overcome when human, medical, and organizational factors align.
Investigators also examined the organizational context in which pilots operate, including support structures and reporting culture.
For investigators, the work continued, focused on understanding the causes and preventing a similar tragedy in the future.
Investigators noted that peer support programs existed, but their effectiveness depended on pilots choosing to seek help. Financial and career consequences were also considered as factors that may discourage pilots from reporting medical concerns.
The investigation also reviewed aviation regulations governing medical confidentiality and reporting obligations.
practices in other countries were examined, including how some allow controlled treatment while pilots continue flying under supervision.
The findings contributed to ongoing efforts aimed at strengthening medical oversight and preventing similar events in the future.
As evidence accumulated, investigators combined technical data, medical findings, and operational context into a single timeline.
The investigation underscored how vulnerabilities can remain hidden when warning signs are fragmented and dispersed.
Attention gradually shifted from understanding what happened to identifying how similar risks could be reduced.
Improving safety also meant fostering an environment where concerns could be raised without fear of disproportionate consequences.
Aviation safety remains a continuous process, shaped by lessons learned and sustained attention to both technical and human factors. Once the causes were identified, attention turned toward defining safety recommendations aimed at reducing similar risks.
Regulatory authorities coordinated across borders, reviewing medical standards and operational procedures.
Greater emphasis was placed on long-term medical monitoring for pilots with a history of psychological conditions. Training programs increasingly addressed mental health awareness and early recognition of warning signs.
These measures became part of a broader effort to continuously assess and improve aviation safety.
These measures became part of a broader effort to continuously assess and improve aviation safety.
Airlines reviewed their operational procedures, introducing additional safeguards intended to reduce single-pilot vulnerability.
New policies emphasized continuous presence in the cockpit during critical phases of flight.
Simulator training increasingly incorporated scenarios focused on incapacitation and abnormal crew behavior.
Greater attention was placed on early identification of psychological stress and improved access to confidential support.
While aviation continued to move forward, the lessons from the investigation remained an enduring reference.
Beyond procedures and policies, the absence left behind was felt in countless quiet moments.
For families and loved ones, the loss was deeply personal and enduring.
Memorials became places of reflection, where the scale of the tragedy was felt beyond statistics.
The landscape itself remains unchanged, bearing silent witness to what occurred.
Such events serve as a collective reminder of the responsibility shared across the entire aviation system.
Each investigation becomes part of a broader learning process, shaping how safety evolves over time.
Safety is maintained not by single actions, but by continuous vigilance in everyday operations.
Aviation continues forward, carrying with it the responsibility to remember and to improve. In understanding what happened, the goal remains to ensure safer skies for all.